All right, guys, my name is Austin, and I'm going to be doing a new segment called 5 Minute Fantasy, where I'm going to be going over the potential booms, busts, and other waiver wire targets and trade situations for the current fantasy week. This video is going to be about quarterbacks. The potential booming quarterbacks this week, number one, I'm going to say Andy Dalton. And this is a situation where, if you had Ben Roethlisberger and, say, Jimmy Garoppolo as your backup, and you really need a quarterback this week, I think Andy Dalton against Pittsburgh is going to be a really great option. Minkah Fitzpatrick is not really integrated into the defense yet. I think it's going to be a really bad defensive game more than it is a good offensive game. That plus the combination of the speed of John Ross and the catchability of Tyler Boyd, I think Andy Dalton could have a very big week. Quarterback number two is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has had a really slow start to the year, but I think with this hobbled Philly team, Ronald Darby is out for the foreseeable future. Philadelphia has been injured coming into this game, and now with this, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a really, really big day with Davante Adams as well as Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I think Derek Carr is going to have a really big week because, number one, Oakland has a bad defense, and the Colts are going to be trying to run down the ball a lot on Oakland, and Oakland's going to want to try to catch up. I don't think Oakland is going to win the time of possession battle, meaning that they're going to be passing the ball a lot. I think Derek Carr against a underachieving Indianapolis defense could really score some points this week. Another set of quarterbacks, Case Keenum and Daniel Jones, both this week. Both of them still have a lot to prove in the NFL. Daniel Jones, it's his second career game. And Case Keenum, because he's been playing well. He played well the first 2 weeks. And then, he laid an egg against Chicago. Everyone plays bad against Chicago. And, Jay Gruden recently just reinstilled his confidence in Case Keenum. I think that both of those quarterbacks going against the Giants, like the 30th ranked defense in the NFL, and Washington, like the 29th ranked defense in the NFL, I think this could be a potential 32, 31, 29, 30 score game, something like that. Both of them, you're looking around 300 yards to 3 touchdowns. And a sleeper candidate for a booming quarterback this week is going to be Matthew Stafford. The fact that Kansas City has an underperforming defense and that Kansas City is going to be scoring a lot very quickly, I think you could see a lot of deep passes from Matthew Stafford. Look for a lot of distribution, though. So I wouldn't necessarily pick up Kenny Golladay or Marvin Jones or T.J. Hawkinson. I think that there's going to be a lot of distribution. I also think that they're going to try to work on the time of possession, but also Kansas City's run defense has vastly improved. So I'd be careful about picking up Kerryon Johnson. The bust quarterbacks for this week, number one is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has been playing extremely well by NFL standards and by his standards the first 3 weeks of this NFL season. But he's played against Washington, he's played against New York, and he's played against Miami, probably the 3 worst defenses in the NFL. Going against this New Orleans team is hungry. They just beat Seattle with their backup quarterback, and they believe that they can make a run without Drew Brees. So look for that defense to be inspired and to be attacking Dak Prescott. Quarterback number 2 that I believe is going to be an absolute bust this week is going to be Carson Wentz. Philadelphia receivers right now are injured. Deshaun Jackson's out. Alshon Jeffrey is out. So it's going to be between Zach Ertz, Nelson Aguilar, and that slew of running backs that they have. Green Bay has a really good defense. They've got very fast, athletic safeties, linebackers, and cornerbacks that really know how to get after the ball. I would be careful about playing Carson Wentz. I really wouldn't touch him this week. If it was your only option, if it was between him and new backup Eli Manning, I would start him. But Carson Wentz is a very dangerous game. Matt Ryan against Tennessee. Now, I know Gardner Minshew looked like he was going to have a great start to that Tennessee game, but most of his yards and both of his touchdowns came in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, Tennessee found the rhythm. So Matt Ryan, people have been saying he's having a pretty low season, even though he's been throwing a lot of yards, a few touchdowns. I'd be careful because that Tennessee defense, that we saw last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a Thursday night game. Defenses rarely play well on Thursday night. Look for Tennessee to be reinvigorated. They've got a great defensive line, a few really good defensive backs. Matt Ryan could be a very dangerous quarterback this week. And lastly, Kyler Murray. Seattle's played 3 games this year, and they've pretty much snuffed out every quarterback that they've played. Going on, they've played Cincinnati, they've played Pittsburgh, and I can't remember the last game Seattle's played. But Kyler Murray, he's been kind of league average, around like 12th to 15th in terms of fantasy points. But this week against Seattle, I'd be very, very skeptical about any production that he could provide.